Okay, everyone. Big breath in, big breath out. Thanksgiving is officially done. Well, at least the eating part. I bet your kitchen's telling a different story, though, huh? I mean, I'm guessing for some of you it looks like a dish monster exploded in there.
You know, it's funny. You start Thanksgiving with this, sparkling, clean kitchen, and by the end of the day, you're wondering if you need, a whole hazmat team to get in there.
Yeah, hazmat might be a bit extreme, but I get it. It can be super overwhelming to see all those dishes and leftovers. But don't worry, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
In this deep dives, we're going to give you a super simple plan to conquer that post-Thanksgiving cleanup, like a total pro.
That's right. We're going way beyond just washing and drying. We're going to get into some real strategy here. Ninja-level hacks. And who knows, maybe we'll even have some laughs along the way. Maybe even make this whole thing, dare I say, enjoyable.
Enjoyable cleanup, now you're talking. And trust me, if you master these tips, your friends and family are going to be so impressed. They'll be all, wait, how'd you get your kitchen back to normal so fast?
For sure. It's about working smarter, not harder, right? So, first things first. We had to get our pre-game strategy down.
Ooh, strategy. I like it. So what are we thinking here? Do we need, like, special weapons? A cleanup dream team?
All that, maybe. But first, you gotta prioritize. I mean, you just cooked and hosted this huge meal, so give yourself a break before you jump into cleaning frenzy mode.
Right, you don't want to go straight from basting the turkey to battling greasy dishes. You got to recharge a little.
Exactly. Take a few minutes, relax, have a piece of pie. You earned it. Then we'll tackle the two most important things: clearing the table and dealing with those delicious leftovers.
Yeah, all those mashed potatoes and gravy need a home before they take over the fridge.
Exactly. And think about it. When you get those dishes off the table and the leftovers put away, you're going to feel like you accomplished something big right away. Plus, you're stopping that food from hardening into a bigger problem later. Nobody wants to deal with dried-on cranberry sauce, trust me.
Okay, I'm convinced. Table cleared, leftovers handled. What's the next step in our pre-game plan?
Time to gather our cleaning supplies. Dish soap, sponges, microfiber cloths, trash bags, and maybe even a scraper. For those really stuck-on messes, if you have everything close by, it makes the whole process so much smoother.
It's kind of like getting all your ingredients ready before you bake a cake. You don't want to be running around looking for the baking powder in the middle of mixing.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Each tool has its own superpower. Your sponge is the sudsy superhero, the microfiber cloth is like a streak-fighting ninja, and that scraper, well, that's the heavy-duty warrior for those super tough messes.
Wow, we've got ourselves a real cleaning A-team here.
Hmm.
Okay, weapons assembled, motivation is high. Let's move on to the big battle. Dish duty.
Hold on. Before you even turn on the water, there's one super important strategy that will save you tons of time and headaches: sorting your dishes.
Wait, we're not just going to throw everything into the sink like a giant dish Jenga tower.
Nope. It might seem like an extra step, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. Think categories: plates with plates, bowls with bowls, silverware all together. You're bringing order to the chaos. And here's a pro tip. If you've got a dishwasher, get that first load running as soon as it's full. While that's going, you can start washing those delicate items by hand.
The dishwasher.
Eh.
The ultimate time-saving sidekick. And speaking of sidekicks, I think it's time to face those. Thanksgiving titans. You know, the roasting pans and casserole dishes that seem to absorb all the flavor and create those epic baked-on messes.
Oh yeah, those are a challenge for sure. But don't worry, I got a secret weapon: the power of soaking.
Soaking. Seems kind of simple. Is that really enough for those really crusty, stuck-on messes?
Oh yeah, it works. Think of it like you're giving those pans a nice spa treatment. Fill them up with hot soapy water, sprinkle in some baking soda for extra cleaning power, and let them soak while you do other things. When you come back, those baked-on bits will practically wipe away. It's magic.
Okay, soaking it is. Soaking superhero, you're on the team. But before we move on, you gotta tell me, any stories about a really memorable soaking victory?
Oh, absolutely. One year I hosted Thanksgiving and, well, the turkey really decided to leave its mark on the roasting pan. I mean, it was a layer of caramelized dot stuff. I thought it'd become part of the pan.
Oh no. You must have been ready to just give up.
I was close. But then I remembered my trusty soaking trick, so I filled that pan with hot, soapy water, added a ton of baking soda like I was giving it a bubble bath, and let it sit while I cleaned other things.
Did the soaking magic work?
It was like something out of a cleaning commercial. I came back to that roasting pan, and that baked-on mess was basically gone. Wiped right off. It was a Thanksgiving miracle.
That's amazing. Soaking power is activated.
Yeah.
Okay, dishes are done. Those tough cots are soaking. I'm feeling like we're making real progress. What's next on our cleanup checklist?
Now that we've handled the big stuff, let's move on to those surfaces that need some love. You know, counters, tables, the outside of your appliances, all those places that probably got splattered and spilled on during the day.
Right. And there's got to be a smart way to do this, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to clean the counters just to have them covered in crumbs again 5 minutes later.
You got it. We got to work from top to bottom. Think about it like cleaning a skyscraper. You wouldn't start with the lobby and work your way up, right? So we're going to start with those countertops. Give them a good wipe down with your favorite cleaner.
Yeah.
Just like cleaning a skyscraper, counters first. Give them a good scrub. Your favorite all-purpose cleaner will work great.
Okay. Countertops are sparkling. What about those little spots people forget about, like the backsplash and those appliance handles? They can get sticky, especially after a day of gravy and cranberry sauce.
You're good. You're thinking like a cleaning pro. Those little details, they matter. It's like, you wouldn't want fingerprints all over the Mona Lisa, right?
Definitely not. So, backsplashes and handles, we got to get those. Oh, and what about the floors? I mean, they've probably seen a lot of action today. Dropped food, spills, maybe even some dance moves if things got a little wild.
Those floors deserve a medal, honestly, and that's why we save them for last. They're kind of like a catch-all for everything else we're cleaning, so it makes sense to wait until everything's sparkling up top before we tackle them.
Makes sense to me. No point in cleaning the floors just to have crumbs fall on them 5 minutes later. So what's the plan for those Thanksgiving floors? Full-on mopping marathon, or can we get away with something a little easier?
I'm all about strategy. Sometimes, yeah, you got to do the whole mopping thing, especially if the floors are looking a little rough. But a lot of times, you can just spot clean those sticky spills with a damp cloth. Saves you time and energy, and your floors will still look great.
Spot cleaning. I like the sound of that. It's like a mini facial for your floors instead of a full spa day. Speaking of messes, what about the trash and recycling? Thanksgiving always seems to create a ton of both, and I really don't like ending up with this mountain of mixed-up garbage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The trick here is to be proactive. Think of it like you're playing a sorting game. Recycling goes here, food scraps go there, and trash in its own spot. If you sort as you go, you're saving yourself a huge headache later.
I'm all about avoiding those sorting nightmares. Oh, and this reminds me. One Thanksgiving, I totally forgot to double bag those food scraps, and, well, let's just say my trash can was not happy about it.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. That's a mistake you only make once, right? Double bagging those food scraps is a must. It prevents leaks, bad smells. Nobody wants to be wondering, what is that smell later on?
Totally agree. It's such a simple thing, but makes such a difference. Okay, so we've tackled the dishes, cleaned all the surfaces, sorted our trash. Are we done? Can I finally relax with some leftover pie?
Almost. We're in the home stretch now. It's time for the victory lap. Those last little touches that get rid of any lingering food smells and make your kitchen feel clean and cozy.
Ooh, I love a good celebration at the end. What kind of final touches are we talking about? Should we bring out the confetti cannons?
Confetti might be a bit much, but we can definitely make this last part feel special. I mean, think about it. You just spent hours transforming your kitchen from disaster zone back to sparkling clean. You deserve a reward.
True. So, besides that well-deserved pie, what else can we do for our victory lap?
One of my favorite things is to light a nice candle or diffuse some essential oils. Cinnamon, clove, orange. Those warm scents instantly change the whole mood and get rid of any food smells that are hanging around.
Oh, yeah. It's like giving your kitchen a spa treatment after all that hard work.
Exactly. While those scents are doing their thing, why not make yourself a cup of tea or coffee? You can even put your feet up and relax for a few minutes. You've earned it.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Relaxing in a clean kitchen, warm drink in hand, maybe a little pie. That's the good life.
It's all about finding those little moments of joy, right? Even in the middle of cleaning, it makes it feel less like a chore and more like a celebration of a great Thanksgiving.
I like that. It's a good way to think about it. But before we get too comfy, we got to talk about next year. I know, it seems far away, but wouldn't it be amazing if we could avoid this whole cleanup chaos, next Thanksgiving?
That's what I'm thinking. We've talked about how to handle this year's mess, but let's be strategic about next year. How can we make the whole process simpler, smoother, maybe even not enjoyable?
Ooh, tell me everything. How do we turn next year's cleanup into a walk in the park?
Well, let's be real. There's always going to be some cleanup after a Thanksgiving feast, but there are definitely things we can do to make it a lot less overwhelming.
Okay, I'm ready. What are the top secrets for a stress-free cleanup next year?
The first thing, and maybe the most important, plan ahead. And I'm not just talking about the menu and the guest list. We're talking about a strategic cleanup plan.
A cleanup battle plan. I like it. So how do we create this master plan?
Think about it this way. Before you even start cooking, you can make choices that will make cleanup way easier. For example, you could use some disposable stuff for, like, appetizers or desserts. I know, we're all trying to be good to the planet, but sometimes a little disposable help can be a lifesaver.
Right. It's all about balance, right?
Yeah.
Being eco-conscious and staying sane.
Yeah.
So disposable plates for those messy appetizers, check. What else can we add to our cleanup battle plan?
Here's one of my favorite strategies. Get your guests involved. Instead of one person slaving away in the kitchen, why not make it a team effort? Give everyone a little job.
Ooh, I love that. It's like a Thanksgiving cleanup crew. Everyone works together and things get done so much faster.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off and it can actually be fun, Put on some music, have a little dance party while you clean.
Now you're talking. Who knew cleanup could be so fun? Okay, planning ahead, teamwork. What other amazing strategies do you have?
One more, and it's all about those little time-saving tricks. Things you can do while you're cooking that will pay off big time later. For example, line your baking sheets and casserole dishes with foil or parchment paper.
So smart. It's like giving those dishes a shield against those baked-on messes. Less scrubbing, more time for pie.
Right. Another tip is to use your dishwasher like a pro. Don't be afraid to pre-wash those really dirty dishes. It helps your dishwasher do its job better, and everything will come out sparkling.
Those are some really great tips. I'm already feeling less stressed about next year.
And hey, remember, it's about finding what works for you and your family. Try different things out, see what feels manageable, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Thanksgiving is all about sharing, right? And that includes the cleanup.
You got it. And speaking of sharing, I'm feeling generous after all these great cleanup tips, so I'm going to share a story. The most epic Thanksgiving cleanup disaster I've ever experienced.
A cleanup horror story. I'm all ears.
Okay, so picture this. It's Thanksgiving a few years ago, and I decided to go all out. I'm talking multi-course feast, all the trimmings, roast turkey, glazed ham, mashed potatoes, stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce pies, the whole shebang.
Wow, you are ambitious. This definitely sounds like it's going towards disaster territory.
Oh, it gets worse. So the feast was a huge success. Everyone loved the food. We had a great time. And then the cleanup hit. And it hit hard.
I'm getting nervous just thinking about it.
It was mountains of dishes, a sea of greasy pans. The recycling bin was overflowing. But here's the worst part. My dishwasher decided to quit. It just broke right then. So there I was, with a sink full of dirty dishes and a feeling of despair that could rival the ending of a Shakespearean tragedy.
Oh no, a dishwasher mutiny on Thanksgiving? That's a cleanup nightmare I wouldn't wish on anyone.
It was tough. But you know what? Even in the middle of all that mess, we still had some laughs, some good conversations, and in the end, we got through it together.
That's the right attitude. Sometimes those super challenging situations end up being the ones we remember the most. Plus, hey, it makes a great story.
For sure. But I'm definitely taking all your advice to heart next year, especially that dishwasher pre-washing thing.
Good call. A happy dishwasher is a clean kitchen's best friend. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's get back to this year. We've talked about a lot of things, so let's recap the main points and give our listeners some final words of wisdom.
All right. We made it. We've journeyed through the wild world of post-Thanksgiving cleanup. We got all the strategies, the hacks. We even had a few laughs, right?
Oh yeah, definitely covered a lot. Starting with, well, those first steps, like clearing the table and what to do with all those leftovers. And then, of course, getting our cleaning tools ready and facing those, those giant roasting pans.
Oh, and don't forget our battle plan for next year. Planning ahead, getting everyone involved, all those little time-saving tricks. Our future selves are going to thank us for that.
We even shared some of our cleanup war stories, to remind ourselves that even when things get crazy, there's always going to be some laughs and some good times with the people we care about.
So true, because Thanksgiving, well, it's not just about the food or the decorations, right? It's about spending time with family and friends, making memories. And just being grateful for all the good things in our lives.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And you know, sometimes that feeling of gratitude, it carries over to even like the simple act of cleaning up after the meal. It's kind of like a way of saying thank you for all the good food and company, and a time to just think about those happy moments we shared.
I like that, turning chores into, well, into acts of love and thankfulness.
Exactly. And as we wrap up this deep dive, let's remember Thanksgiving cleanup doesn't have to be this horrible chore we all dread. With a little bit of planning, a few good strategies, maybe some teamwork, it can actually be kind of satisfying.
Hmm.
Maybe even, dare I say, enjoyable.
You're right. And hey, remember, it's okay to ask for help, to use some of those disposable things if you need to, and to find those little moments of joy throughout the day.
And don't forget to, just take a second and appreciate that amazing meal you shared with everyone
Yeah.
and the memories you made, because those memories, those are what really make Thanksgiving special.
Absolutely. The food, the laughter, those great conversations, that's what we'll remember long after the dishes are done and the leftovers are all gone.
Well said. I think it's time to raise a glass or maybe a mug of that leftover eggnog to a great Thanksgiving and to getting everything clean.
Cheers to that. And to everyone listening, happy cleaning, happy memories, and enjoy those leftovers. We'll see you next time.
See you in Garlic and